Welcome, Bucknutters, to the Bucknuts Morning 5. I'm Dan Rubin. It's Thursday, March 6th. Got a packed show for you today. The man of the hour is Larry Scott, or LJ Scott, the running back out of Hubbard, who received an Ohio State offer yesterday. We'll break all that down, including how it affects running back recruiting and Larry's recruitment in particular. Going to talk about the second day of spring practice, which takes place at the WAC. Going to give you an update from Duane Long on Recruit Nuts, who claims he can beat all of you. Going to tease the boarding house a little bit and talk a little bit about Pro Day, which comes up on Friday.
Well, hello, Larry. Hello, Larry. You talk to people all day for a living. Hello, Larry. But all those easy answers you are giving, are you really living your life that way?
Yes, hello, Larry. Larry LJ Scott did receive his offer from Ohio State yesterday. There was plenty of speculation that this wouldn't take place until Scott qualified for the NCAA clearinghouse, qualified academically. I'll just say this. The first time I ever heard of LJ Scott, it was from a scout who had just watched his video, and I've told you guys this before, but his scouting report on Scott was, it looks like a bear got loose at a campsite. I don't know what that means, but I assume in the analogy that Larry Scott or LJ Scott was the bear, so I think that's pretty good. What is the real deal with Scott, and how does this affect running back recruiting? I checked in with recruiting expert extraordinaire Alex Gleitman for some insight.
I don't really think it's that crazy of an impact at this point in time. He's a tremendous player. There was clearly some great issues and off-the-field things. I don't think it was anything on the field that was preventing him from being an Ohio State Buckeye. At this point, he's done enough work in the classroom where they feel good enough to offer him a scholarship. But as Steve Wilfong told you on the front row yesterday, and if you haven't seen that, check that out, absolutely needs to continue to progress in that area for Ohio State to accept his commitment on signing day next year. Now, that doesn't mean that LJ can't commit to the Buckeyes now and they'll figure it all out later, but to actually sign pen to paper, he obviously has to qualify through the NCAA clearinghouse. Michigan State has done a tremendous job in its recruitment, and they were at the forefront right before Ohio State offered. West Virginia's right there. Alabama and Auburn have offered. So, Ohio State's not necessarily a lock. I do think that in the end, if both sides, or at least Ohio State, if they want to be there, Larry Scott will end up being an Ohio State Buckeye if he takes care of everything in the classroom. But I don't think it really impacts everything too much because I think Ohio State's going to take two running backs at the end of the day. They'd love a guy like Scott in addition to a guy like Damian Harris or even a guy like Jerome Baker if they decide to put him at running back if they do land his services. So I think at the end of the day, Ohio State takes two running backs. Larry Scott, just another name in the mix now. But if he puts everything together, he's definitely a strong contender to end up in this class.
One other quick thing to note is that LJ Scott claims he wants to play college football with his brother, his teammate at Hubbard. And here's a pretty revealing quote, and why Michigan State may be in the lead. Michigan State paid attention to me and my brother. The other schools just pay attention to me. I want a school to pay attention to me and my brother. And if you're talking about me, I want you to talk about my brother as well. End quote. From what we're hearing, his brother is not an Ohio State offer candidate, so this may have greased the skids for the Spartans. The boys are back for the second official day of spring practice today. Unfortunately, it is closed to the media. Luke Fickell and Ed Warner will be available afterwards to chat with our guys. Steve Hellwagon and Dave Biddle will be there with bells on. No beat duo provides as much as experience or knowledge as those two, so you'll want to make sure to check that out. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Not a relevant question here, but are you smarter than Duane Long when it comes to recruiting? Duane has picked his team over at Recruit Nuts. He'll have a story up on the site here soon at Bucknuts describing why he made his picks and who he made them for. Remember, there's a $10,000 bounty at the end of the rainbow here. Can you beat Duane Long? He doesn't think you can. Those of you recruiting experts who've always questioned Duane and thought you could do it better, now is your ideal opportunity. Head over to recruitnuts.com, get signed up, and show Duane who the real boss is. Okay, a little thing to wet your whistle and keep you on the site. In today's boarding house, we're going to have an item that we got from a longtime staff source who's been around the program for decades. The source claims there's a member of Urban Meyer's staff that has been given carte blanche in recruiting more than any other assistant coach he's ever seen. Who is it? That's premium knowledge. You're going to have to get a premium membership. Sign up today and get our 1-week free trial offer, and then make sure to be at the boarding house when it opens around noon. Don't forget, Friday is Pro Day at Ohio State, when scouts from all across the NFL will descend on the WAC to watch the draft-eligible guys work out. Some special guys to watch: Andrew Norwell, the All-Big Ten guard who was snubbed by the Combine and was not invited to Indianapolis. This is a huge day for him. Also keep a keen eye on Ryan Shazier. He tested off the charts in Indianapolis but did not run his 40 because of a tweaked hamstring. He's going to run it tomorrow. My guess is if he gets in the 4.5s, you're looking at a guy that could sneak into the back end of the first round. Keep it plugged into Bucknuts all day, people. We'll be here for you.